You see that? A bunch of crows just went by. T-Rex gets all gaga when the crows go by. 1, 2. I messed him up a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, I heard a bunch of crows. That gets me going too. What a morning. So dynamic. So much going on. There are the crows way out there over Howe's Neck. Got some viewers now over there. Can you see your house? People commenting. We got blue sky and cirrus. The moon just set. Oh, no, the moon did not just set. The moon is right there blending with the cirrus clouds. These cirrus, so opposite of the cumulus of yesterday. These are a sign of stability in the lower atmosphere. That is cold air near the ground and warmer air coming up over the top as we're going to rebound. Here come the crows. T-Rex, who's that? Out the door, weather, and more. You never know what we're going to talk about here. I'm going to talk about the coldest morning so far. We just got to 40 degrees. It was 38 degrees this morning, and we had no frost here in Weymouth. The breeze stayed up a little bit. The cat's out, so I will shut this door. The regional roundup at 7 o'clock showed 34 degrees in Boston, the coldest since 34 on April 10th. And the last time there was a freeze on Boston was April 9th when it was 28 degrees. So as a whole, New England is experiencing the coldest morning so far, which is pretty interesting because there's a serious warm front coming at us today, and it's going to end up being in the 40s tonight. The temperature is going to keep going up tonight, and a few spots like southern New England could be 50 degrees by tomorrow morning. We right now are in the calm between storms. And what a gorgeous morning. I was looking at many of the cameras. There's the Mount Washington camera. Well, it's on Wildcat looking over to Mount Washington, and the snow gun going there. And wow, doesn't this look like midwinter? Well, on Mount Washington and higher elevations, it started snowing around October 20th, and without many thaws in between here at Mount Washington, 12 inches to close out October and 17 since then. So we're passing 30 inches or pretty close to 30 inches of snow in the last 3 weeks on top of Mount Washington without a major meltdown. So it's been snow on snow on snow. And in Vermont, Mount Mansfield this morning, the snow gun's going down there on North Slope and Lord, and you can see over even by the other side of the Over Easy gondola. And the moon was above Mount Mansfield, where the snow stake now reads 14 inches of snow. And the only winter we've had more than 14 inches of snow this early was in 1976. And what a winter that turned into. Now, I did 2 videos yesterday, and you saw maybe the snow report. So I'm going to kind of skip over the whole winter forecast and everything, but it's exciting. I'll just tell you that. And if I look at this image of the Pacific, North America, and the Atlantic, I consider this a Rorschach test. What do you see on here? Well, to the meteorologist, you may see 9 or 10 cyclones. You may or may not see some Greenland block reestablishing as the first bombogenesis storm of the week bended back into Labrador, and the second bombogenesis is off to the east of New England. Or you may see just a parade of storms off the Pacific. But what I see is an incredibly dynamic map and visions of the winter of 1976 and 77. So much going on. Look at the surface map this morning. Now this is the analysis, and you have the 1024 high pressure system going off to the east of New England. There was a freeze all the way down to Chesapeake Bay, and we have a warm front and a low and a couple of cold fronts coming at us. More cold fronts than warm fronts until I stop at, I'm going to go to another map here. That was this morning, and now go to the 1 a.m. map and look at all that going on. It looks like a spider web, doesn't it? With all these colored lines. Stationary front in Maine, warm front across southern New England with a chance of a thunderstorm again tonight. That'll be the 3rd time in a week. And we have low pressure to our north, which is inducing warm air advection with the temperature going up overnight and any mixed precipitation changing to rain even in our mountains before changing back to snow before ending tomorrow. Steve is stuck. Darn. So, all right, sorry for that interruption. Steve, you're free. And is there any ice in the bucket? No, there's not. There's a lot of water, and maybe next week, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about this front coming in here today. There's going to be a warm front this afternoon and a cold front tonight, and mixed precipitation, not that heavy. So here's the HRRR timing it out. Just a couple of snowflakes possible in the north this morning, and then look at the black lines tighten up, and the red lines. The red lines means warm enough for rain. The black lines mean the wind is really picking up from the southwest as the day goes on. That's called warm air advection, and low pressure is tracking to our north tonight. So any wintry mix, there's a little blue with the green there in northern Vermont, changes to just plain rain. So it is going to rain on top of our mountains, and it's a brief. Temperature gets up into the 30s in higher elevations, and then there's a cold front tomorrow morning, and that's ending the precipitation in northern New England. Southern New England may wake up to rain on Cape Cod or a thunderstorm. That goes away. And now the blue lines are settling south with not much going on tomorrow afternoon, so it's just going to be kind of dry and a cooling aloft, but it's going to be a fairly mild day with temperatures probably in the low 60s in parts of southern New England if we get enough sunshine, and in the 40s and 50s north. So snow guns will be turning off at that point. It's negligible snow, maybe 1 or 2 inches in the higher elevations, central Maine, and negligible rain, less than 1/4 of an inch, but it'll be fun and intense if you get one of those thunderstorms at your house tonight and tomorrow. So that's just the tonight wave. And then there's going to be another one on Sunday, and then that's going to be a buckling in the jet stream, and that's when the Arctic air is going to start moving in here. So let's see. I think I'll just spend a second on the condition of the ski resorts. Killington, right after I did my snowcast yesterday, Killington said, no, we're not going to open today. We're going to wait till probably the middle of next week because of this warm spell that's coming in. And once Killington opens, it's not a day-by-day thing. It's for the season, so that's what they're doing there. But what a morning. I mean, temperature on top of Mount Washington, I didn't show it though, was 9 this morning, and the wet bulb was very low, perfect for making snow. And it's all changing so fast today. So there's no lift serve skiing this weekend, but yesterday, and I think I want to give 24 seconds now to New England Tommy. Tommy up in northern Vermont. I didn't get your dog's name, but this is great audio. And as we listen to Tommy speak about the condition of the snowpack, incredible for this time of year, we will also see some imagery from Rad Andy, who I think was there too. Were you there, Andy Mosdale?
That might not be covered up, but the rest is. It's got to be a foot in most places, and nice, dense, heavy-duty cream, the type that keeps you off the bottom and the rocks. Have a great day.
And that's 24 seconds. Thanks, Rad. And Tommy says, yeah, maybe I'll hold my camera sideways some other time, but it's too easy to hold up vertical. And we appreciate that, all this feedback coming. And so Tommy would probably say, TK, what's going to happen over the next week? Well, we're going to have this little thaw tonight and tomorrow, and then we're going to have a wet to white storm on Sunday. And then next week is, you know what reminds me of next week? The forecast for this week from about 8 days ago. Remember, probably, this is like a weather soap opera here. Remember about maybe last Monday, I'm talking about 9 days ago or so, and I said, wow, the models are trying to indicate a very fast, flat flow with not much going on, but I think there's room for cyclogenesis in there. Not only did we have cyclogenesis, we had 2 bomb cyclones. The one that went by with all that wind yesterday went from 999 to 967 in 24 hours, 32 millibars in 24 hours. So that was the second bomb cyclone of the week. And I'm looking at next week going, wow, it looks active, but it could be even more active. So let's launch the Euro now and try and get this one done in less than 20 minutes. Here's the Euro. The high pressure system has moved off to the east, and we have a low that's pretty powerful. It's in the 990s going to our north, but it kind of maxes out and slows down to our north tomorrow. There's the wintry mix, and then the rain showers ending tomorrow morning. And that low is in no hurry to get out of here. So we're going to maintain a westerly flow. And there are 2 subtle fronts. One front kind of meandering near northern New England. That's cold enough for snow, but there's not much going on. And the other front near the south coast of New England. And these 2 fronts are going to kind of consolidate into another warm front that's going to come at us on Sunday. So on Sunday, here comes the Arctic air out of central Canada down through the Great Lakes states, and we have a batch of fairly heavy rain, a wave on a warm front coming into New England. But again, that low keeps adjusting a little further south and east. So although it's going to be warmer up in the sky, down near the ground, it might not get that warm. And it is just warm enough that the rain snow line looks like it's going to lift just north of Vermont with a snowstorm far northwestern Maine into Quebec. And then the low is going to kind of stall out, or the front's going to stall out here on Sunday night. We turn a little bit drier, but it's going to be very unstable. And look at the trough digging in the middle of the nation. Now, this is 1 a.m., 6Z is 1 a.m., and then 12Z is 7 a.m., stopping it right here on Monday morning, as we've been doing, looking for that 510 cutoff, sort of wayward polar vortex back over southern Illinois, southern Indiana. The 510 is there. It's a positive tilt trough, meaning fairly progressive, but that is record cold air aloft. And the front, again, with the 1,005 or 4 millibar low, a little further south and east than the last couple of days, but still, the front is from Maine to Miami with a stream of tropical moisture coming up on the east side of the front and pure, cold Arctic air on the west side of the front, and it's snowing all the way down to the mountains of western North Carolina. And then we're going to put this back into motion, and low pressure systems, one after another, moving from south to north with just chaotic, dynamic weather in New England. Upslope snow, the dark blue, heavy snowstorm in Quebec, and that goes into Monday night and Tuesday. That low is moving due north and almost backing to the west a little bit, Greenland block, and the cold air is rushing in here, but it's mostly cold up in the sky, so we may not get the temperature down to 32 degrees in Boston or Cape Cod at that point because it's so windy, and I call it a low barometer cold, where it's plenty cold enough for snow up in the higher elevations, but you just get days like yesterday with that kind of scattered showers mixed with grapple coming across New England on Tuesday into Wednesday. Then look at all the isobars here on Wednesday. There's about a 970 low stalled over Hudson Bay, and there's a 1029 high pressure system in the southeastern United States. And again, a fast, flat flow out of southern Canada with not much happening here except for that subtle little shortwave on Thursday. Let's see if that doesn't explode as we get closer to it a week from today or yesterday. And Thursday fronts, we always have one, but a real windy week next week, and we're on the colder side of the front all week with another little shortwave coming through here on Friday into Saturday, and then another one coming at us. Oh wait, look at this one digging. Now this is Sunday, November 16th. What is that? Is that a 997 low over Long Island with blue over central New England, a snowstorm with yet another low on its tail over the Great Lakes states, and we're decidedly on the colder side of the front? Is it going to snow 6 inches in the hills of central New England on Sunday the 16th? If this Euro has its way, it will. I'm not sure about that. But either way, I'm not going to tease you with what the snowfall forecast for the next 10 days looks like. You can go back to my snowcast from yesterday to see that, and it showed about 20 to 30 in New York and Vermont, and this kind of doubles down on that. And the only place that doesn't get snow in the next 2 weeks on the long-range forecast is right along the coast from New York City to Nantucket Island. And so I'll take the under on that amount of snow. But what's going on here? Decidedly remarkable early winter, and I'm going to try and fine-tune the winter forecast and have it ready for my friends at the Country Ski Expo this weekend right near my house here in Hanover. So that's going to be a good time. All right, so the and more. First of all, I'd like to pay respects to somebody we all knew on X, photographer, just a nice man. Stan Collins, we lost this week. His daughter Shelley posted that Stan passed away peacefully, surrounded by family on November 4th. So I know a lot of us, we kind of are all digital friends here. And Stan just offered these beautiful scenes from all around. And his first post ever on X was, back when it was Twitter, was a picture of him flying open cockpit plane, and he said it'll be fitting this will be my last picture I post too. But then he did post a bunch more last week, so this one's for you, Stan, thinking of you. And yesterday in the wind it was kind of challenging, so I ended up doing a time lapse inside the house, and then we closed out with a red-tailed hawk. Very busy day of production yesterday, and thank you all for watching and commenting, and I will try and get it to a Q&A. If the weather would ever quiet down, I could spend some more time trying to answer questions. And there's the TK mess. What's over there? Steve and Rex. Rex wants to go in for some coffee. Who can blame him? It's finger freezing cold outside. T-Rex. All right. Yesterday's weather today. And more. And more. 10 a.m. The blue sky turned gray in the last hour. There's cold air advection, very unstable. And we've got Steve out here just chasing leaves and whatnot. Did you want to commit at all, Steve? What do you got? You got a critter? He's cornered something in there. Yeah, nice crevasse. What's in there? I guess you're content, huh? All right, there's that blue sky going away. Plane's landing into the wind. Wintry winds. Oh, so you're ready now? Well, you're still, well, not tied, are you? T-Rex and I are out in the back. It's just past 11, and boy, is it a heavy sky. Very buoyant atmosphere, and that's instability. I just got hit by a raindrop. Now the snow level's probably down to about 5,000 feet here. So if we had a 5,000 foot mountain near Boston, it would be turning white right now. Instability showers. And wait till we get that 522 thickness next week. Very unstable. So, buoyant atmosphere. Temperature on Mount Washington still only about 16. I'm surprised. So we must have another sort of trough, surface trough generating the updraft here. There's more than just instability. The high pressure is so far off to our west and south. Very fun. And it'll probably turn blue again in a couple of hours. There's the radar, and Ross in Francistown, New Hampshire, right near Crotched, says, first snowflakes of the season right there. Thought so, but the Crotched cams were down, Ross. But there are the raindrops and snowflakes just a few thousand feet over Boston right now. So close. Next week, may come right down to Boston. Veterans Day. Certainly overachieved. Didn't really forecast this, but I didn't look that hard. I don't do the short term as much as I try and do the big picture. But Peter Lavasco on X just posted from Colleen in Beverly, up in that direction. Not the same cloud, but graupel and snowflakes mixed with raindrops. So the first little bits of snow fall just north of Boston. And that right there, that white coming out of the cloud, that is snow turning into probably a few raindrops right at the lowest 1,000 feet of the atmosphere. So very dynamic, and we're gonna triple down on this when the cold front comes through here Monday night and next Tuesday. A lot of this buoyancy in the atmosphere, instability. We just happen to have more moisture and surface convergence than I was expecting because I'm doing so many other things with bomb cyclones going off every other day. How do you keep up? Calm down, bro, calm down. T-Rex and I just went for a walk and got hit by a couple of raindrops. No snowflakes. And a wind gust to about 35 or 40. It was a good pulse, and there's a cumulonimbus coming over Boston. Let's make a little time lapse from indoors, because if I went outdoors, the camera would blow over. So, looking out the window here for a little while. That was a fun 64 minutes, and I wasn't even cold or wet. And what should we do for a grand finale? How about just play some music and call it a day early? I know what we can close it out with. The near stationary red-tailed hawk. Can you just come and hover right over the camera here and we play a little piano music? Did I tape a snow report? I think I want to do that before the sun goes down. I can actually hear some squeaking like a chipmunk. Do red-tails use mostly eyesight, or do they use their ears also? Am I in the way of your chipmunk? Something's squeaking. Maybe it's the flagpole. Maybe it's the house surrendering to the relentless wind. This is now yesterday's weather today, right? So, the Killington Spin lifts on the first Friday of November. Is it the first Friday of November? It's Friday, right? Well, it's Thursday evening where I'm standing, but it's Friday where you are, right? Appreciate your viewership and comments, and at some point, I love the ones we talked about the forecast for winter by tracking the chipmunks and the squirrels. Much appreciated, all your feedback. We all work together to make this happen. And the gull going down, almost just like last night. And back up. All right. Talk to you tomorrow. Winter is here.